Hey guys, what's up? Brandon here, and today I want to talk to you about skiing in Tribes Ascend. But more specifically, I want to talk about skiing routes as it relates to flag grabs. So if you're like me, the one thing that you hate when you're in a server is a llama grabber. Someone who moseys onto the stand, practically walking, grabs the flag, and just seems to have no idea what they're doing. So today, I want to show you some easy, simple flag routes on Katabatic that you can incorporate into your game and not be a llama grabber, so that you can be a team player and get some flag grabs at some pretty insane speeds. Now first of all, I want to show you the Pathfinder loadout that I'm using. The Pathfinder is the main flag capturing class in the game, so that's what I would recommend using for these routes especially, and just any time you're going to be capturing flags really. So my primary weapon, I use the bolt launcher. It does more damage than the light spin fuser, so that's what I prefer, but it is a little bit more difficult to use because it arcs, whereas the spin fuser just has a straight trajectory. So use whatever you feel more comfortable with. I use the bolt launcher. For my secondary weapon, I use the light assault rifle. It has a longer range, obviously, than the shotgun, which has a very short drop-off range. So the light assault rifle is good for chasing down enemy flag carriers, which I often do in this kind of role. So that's what I use. Again, personal preference depending on what your playstyle is like. For the belt item, this one is obvious, the impact nitron. I don't even have the explosive nitron unlocked because you always want to use the impact nitron. It's used for self-propulsion, and it's also used for forcing enemy flag drops, so that's a huge one. I use the thrust pack. You can use the energy recharge pack, especially if you're newer to some of these flag routes. It will help you get higher in the air and be a little more forgiving. But the thrust pack allows you to get a quick start to these routes I'm going to show you. So I use the thrust pack. Again, it's personal preference. The armor upgrade, I mean, there's nothing to see here. You just upgrade all the way. But I will point out that this fifth upgrade here, the minus 10% mass, that one's pretty big because it helps you go faster while you're in the air. So you definitely want to get all these upgrades all the way up to 5. Then my primary and secondary perks, I use Reach and Egocentric. I think those are two really strong flag capper perks right now. But if there are others that work well for you, like Safety Third, if you want another Nitron or whatever, you know, again, personal preference, but I typically use Reach and Egocentric. Now let's move on to the routes themselves. Now let's start off with an easier diamond sword route here. We're going to start on the top spire of that right mountain. We're going to shoot all the way down this straightaway and nitron ourselves. And you can see all of a sudden we're at 270 Sanix picking up the flag. Now that's all well and good, but the trick here is actually getting back to your base. You've got to navigate this terrain over on the left side of the map, which can be tricky. But you got to use your tiny wing skills, navigate those valleys. And if you've got the health, you can nitron yourself once or twice more. And before you know it, you're back at base with a nice little 25-second flag capture. Sometimes you even hit a crazy glitch that rockets you up into the air. Now let's look at a similar type of route for Blood Eagle. We're going to start out on the same spire as we did before, but obviously going the other way. I'm going to thrust myself right off the bat. You want to make sure you hit the edge of this mountain cleanly. And once you throw a nitron at your feet, you can pick up a quick 260 Sanic flag grab. Now again, with a front to back route like this and the one before it that I just showed you, the harder part is really navigating this terrain over here. But if you use your nitrons, do whatever you've got to do to keep your speed up, you can normally hit this route in about 30 seconds. Now next, I want to show you a couple of advanced flag routes that require a little bit more setup, but the payoff is a quicker flag capture and also a little bit more surprise to the enemies. So we're back to the diamond sword side now. You can see that we're on one of the far left hills from this team's perspective. I'm going to start myself off with a quick thrust, and I'm going to boost myself up with the bolt launcher. You want to make sure you get enough momentum with that shot to get yourself to this next hill. You want to gain some speed. You see we're about 230 coming up on this hill. And you have a few options here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop myself up with a nitron, and as I come to this next hill, I'm going to throw another nitron to kind of bounce myself off back to the right and straighten my course into midfield. So we get about a 250 Sanic flag grab, and coming down midfield, we get about a 12 or 13 second cap if everything goes perfectly. Pretty cool, huh? Let's look at the Blood Eagle side next. So as I said, the last route we're going to look at here in this video is a Blood Eagle route, starting out from the left side of the map from the Blood Eagle perspective this time. Now, similar to the Diamond Sword route we just saw, I'm going to start out with a thrust pack, and as I come up the hill, I'm going to use the bolt launcher to gain some momentum. Now you want to make sure that you have enough speed to hit this next hill cleanly and come out of this valley at a little bit above 230 Sanics. Now probably the hardest part of this route is this approach right here. You want to make sure you don't hurt yourself, but you want to keep your speed. And so when we hit that cleanly, we use a nitron and we can grab this flag at around 275. And if everything goes perfectly, we can easily hit over 300 in the midfield to cap in just above 10 seconds. Hope you guys liked this video. If you found it informative, please consider throwing it a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, maybe for other maps, let me know in the comments. As always guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.